And it's just interesting, you know, because what's Kojima's next game after 4, which was supposed to wrap it all up, which he thought for sure was gonna be his last game, but now he's back with Peace Walker. And in comparison to 4, it feels kind of like a breath of fresh air to me. That's always how Peace Walker feels. It's like, oh, you know, you can kind of feel Kojima free of all this sequel baggage. You know, finally now I don't have to answer all these questions. You know, MGS4 was very much this game made out of obligation. You know, everyone wanted that. Everyone wanted the loose ends tied up, whereas he was happy to just leave it all open to interpretation or to have his team go on to make it without him. He didn't want to be coming back to do 4, but in the end, he did, and he tied everything up and tried to give people what they wanted to some degree. Um, but then with Peace Walker, he decided to go back to Big Boss's story. Um, and yeah, it feels fresh. Obviously, it does have to deal with certain bits of sequel baggage, but it feels more, yeah, it feels freer, Peace Walker overall. Feels like the series has room to breathe again with this game. Isn't so concerned with having to answer everything and tie up everything to everything. We're just gonna chill at the menu here. To wait for the little opening cinematic montage thingy. It's certainly more playful, this game, and lighthearted. MGS4 is obviously a very pretty dour affair, laborious. Peace Walker is very playful, lots of humor. Boom! Sweet. So we'll start on a new game. Um... Also, take note. We're about to get a recap at the start of this game. You know, the story so far. Big Boss's story so far. Notice how there isn't a single mention of Portable Ops. Keep that in mind. Remember? After MGS3 came out, while MGS4 was in development, another game was made, MGS Portable Ops, which was this new canon entry in the story, which MGS4 calls back to many times. It's Portable Ops started the whole Zero's Patriots plot line, had a big impact on the story. But now, all of a sudden, it gets brushed under the rug. And again, getting back to what we were saying, I think this just comes down to Kojima saying, Jesus Christ, I just don't want to deal with fucking sequel baggage. Let me go back and just make my own MGS3 sequel. You know? I think he's like, okay, I didn't think I would be coming back to do a Big Boss story, so, you know, I was kind of cool with Portable Ops just being this thing, you know, that I didn't really have to think too hard about. But now that I'm coming back to do a Big Boss sequel, I think I'm just going to forget about that game, because that's just too much of a headache. There's one line of dialogue that references Portable Ops in this game. And that line is, now we can leave all that crap in San Hieronimo behind and break into the mercenary business for real. And then it is never mentioned again. So maybe you could still say, oh hey, Kaz, he's referencing it, so it still happened. So I guess you could say that. It's still there in the canon somehow, but we're just gonna, you know, we're not gonna think too hard about it. We'll just take what we need from Portable Ops. But yeah, it's an interesting thing to think about. Let's press OK and learn about the story so far. They are.
Boss, want to go around?
So we're here. We're greeting our men here on the beach. Hello there. Get ready for one of the best tutorials ever.
Look alive, ladies! The boss is gonna join us! Show him how it's done, boss! Your first priority in enemy territory is knowing your surroundings. Your life depends on where you are looking and how fast you can identify your targets. Therefore, you must first master moving your line of sight. To move your line of sight, use the right stick. Now when I give you an order, look in that direction. Look up! Good! Look down! Good! You should be familiar with the up and down controls now. Press the action button if you're ready to move on.
Okay.
Okay! Next we'll check your left and right. Look right!
I like how they frame this, you know, like we're just giving them an example.
Good! Look left!
It's not that we need to be taught, you know. We know. We're just teaching these guys how
You
to play
should be
the game.
familiar with the left and right controls now. Press the action button if you're ready to move on.
We're showing these guys out.
Okay! You can change the controls anytime in Options. Go with the method that works best for you. Next, I'll explain how to change stances. If you just stand there like an idiot in front of an enemy, you might as well kill yourself now! At times, you will need to get low to avoid detection. You have 3 stances: stand, crouch, and lying down. To change stances, use the crouch button. Tap the crouch button to change between standing and crouching. You can move in either stance. Hold the crouch button and keep it held to lie down. However, you cannot move while you are lying down. I'll say that again. You cannot move while lying down. Is that clear?
So no more crawling. That's too
Boss,
much.
change your stance with the crouch button.
Yeah, I will. Des Cryer, thank you very much for the Prime sub.
Good. Next, we'll work on your movement. Use the left stick to move around. Tilt it a little to walk slowly. Tilt farther to run. Decide which to use based on your situation. Remember that your footsteps are louder when running, making you easier to discover. Be careful! Good! Now we have rolling. Rolling is useful for knocking down enemies in your way, and for getting away when surrounded. You can also use it to jump over small ditches and other obstacles. To roll, tap the crouch button while running. You got that? Tap the crouch button while running! Don't forget it!
Hey, welcome back, Cynthia. Cynthia Harrell is in the chat, everyone. The singer of Snake Eater.
That's it! Next, I will explain how to attack without gunfire. You may run into an enemy unexpectedly. You may not have a weapon on you, or you may be out of ammo. You'll still need an effective attack strategy. One well-placed strike and the enemy won't know what hit him. To strike an enemy, press the attack button while standing still. On my command, press the attack button repeatedly and take down your opponent. Go!
I'm ready, boss.
Impressive, boss!
Basic attack.
Next, we're gonna practice using the stun rod. Hitting someone with the stun rod will shock them with 1.5 million volts. Anyone on the receiving end of that is guaranteed to be out cold. To use the stun rod, press the aim button to ready it, then press the attack button. You'll be glad to know we're using mock stun rods for this training session. When your partner attacks, make him believe it's the real deal. Prepare yourself for stun rod training. Go!
I'm ready, boss.
All right, mock stun rod. Let's do it.
Impressive, boss! Now we'll
Nice
move on to
performance.
CQC. CQC, or Close Quarters Combat, refers to when engaging an enemy in battle at very close range. It is a quick and efficient way of eliminating a threat. There are various CQC techniques. We will go over each of them. Don't get cocky because you think you know them. This will be different from what you're used to. Pretend you are learning it for the first time. The first technique is throwing your opponent. To do this, position yourself near your opponent and press the attack button while you tilt the left stick. Be sure to press the attack button when the icon appears. Now, wait for my command and throw your opponent. Go!
I'm ready, boss.
Alright, now we're learning basic CQC throws. Same as MGS3.
Impressive, boss! Next, I'm going to teach you how to restrain an opponent close to you. This is a cornerstone of CQC. Grab hold of an enemy, and the bastard's life is in your hands. What you do from there is up to you. Just know that if you restrain him for too long, the average person will most likely pass out. Something to keep in mind. Let's begin. To restrain your opponent, hold down the attack button while near them. Restrain your opponent on my command. Go!
I'm ready, boss.
Basic restraining.
Fine work, boss! Now we will throw your opponent after restraining them. To throw an enemy to the ground, press a direction on the left stick when you have them restrained. Restrain your opponent and throw them on my command. Go!
I'm ready, boss.
Fine work, boss!
And choose the direction.
Now we will try CQC against multiple enemy opponents. You can also take out a group of enemies by throwing an opponent you have restrained. First, restrain an opponent by pressing the attack button near them. Then, tilt the left stick to throw them. By tilting the left stick toward other enemies, you can send your captive flying straight into them. On my command, restrain and then throw your opponent. Go!
I'm ready, boss.
Yeah, I'm playing the HD Collection version, but it's very impressive for a PSP. One of the best games.
Fantastic!
On PSP.
Again! Go!
I'm ready, boss.
Fantastic! All right! Why don't we do something special since the boss is here? Anyone who feels like getting their ass kicked, step forward. Don't hold back, boss. When you're surrounded by multiple enemies, you'll have to take them on one after the other. To do it, simply press the attack button again while throwing the current enemy. Just be sure to wait for the icon to appear. Go!
I'm ready, boss.
So now the fancy consecutive attack.
Fine work, boss!
Again.
Again! Go!
I'm ready, boss.
Nice pants. Thank you for the 5.
Fine work, boss! And stop! That's it for today! Thank you, boss! Snake!
What's going on, Kaz?
We've got guests.
Time to move.
Don't worry, it's not our friends from Langley. I brought him. Made sure we won't fall.
Thank you, big boss.
Call me Snake.
Sorry, Vic boss.
Listen up. For us, there is no victory.
But in Revolution, doesn't one triumph or die?
We don't do either.
Here.
Ah, thank you. I feel like a new man. There's no coffee like Costa Rican coffee.
So, what brings a distinguished scholar from the Costa Rican government to Colombia?
Professor Galvez comes from Costa Rica's University for Peace.
You see, over the past year, there have been sightings of an armed group in Costa Rica. They're not ours, of course.
Costa Rica doesn't have an army.
Correct. Article 12 of our Constitution states that the Army as a permanent institution is abolished.
The Peace Constitution.
You think it's rebels who fled Nicaragua?
No, they don't appear to be guerrillas. They're far too organized.
What's your government's take?
The authorities in San Jose claim it's a multinational security firm, hired by the Development Corporation of Costa Rica. Lies, obviously. They're bringing in state-of-the-art weaponry and equipment by the shipload.
Where'd they get that kind of cash?
I fear La CIA may be involved.
The CIA.
As you both know, the United States views Central America as its backyard. Even after Cuba, we've managed to maintain a delicate balance with the U.S.
And your government can't just give them the boot?
We are not allowed to bear arms.
Japan's constitution has something similar. Article 9. It says Japan renounces war and can't maintain an army.
I understand that you and your men have neither state nor ideology. That you will fight any foe. Please, you must drive them out of our defenseless country. We come to you, the Militaires Sans Frontières.
So, you want to hire us?
Yes, as our deterrent. We can't afford to pay much, it's true. But we can offer you this. A forward operating base. An offshore plant in the Caribbean.
Sounds pretty good to me. This place is becoming a mess anyway. Snake, we need someplace we can settle down.
The governments agreed to cooperate. Unofficially, of course.
A chopper for transport would be nice too.
I'll see what I can do.
Hold it. You seem to think we're just a pack of dogs of war. Is that right?
Yes, that's what I've heard. You're an army without a state.
No, we've only left our countries behind.
Please, you must help us.
If your suspicions are true, force isn't gonna do any good. You'll have to find a political solution.
The government's hands are tied.
Go back to your bosses in San Jose. Tell them if they want, I'll introduce them to a negotiator I know.
No. I'm not here on their behalf.
So, what are you doing here?
For over 20 years, I've preached the virtues of peace at multiple universities. Tonight, I stand before you as an educator. This is my student. She came to me to study peace. Her name is Paz. Paz Ortega.
Paz. Peace.
No kidding. That's my name too. Kazuhira. It's Japanese for peace. Pleased to meet you, Paz. Call me Kaz.
They've got a supply port north of Puerto Limon, a town in la Costa del Mar Caribe. A few days ago, Paz stumbled upon that facility while searching for a lost friend. She was captured. She's only a child, 16 years old. They did terrible things to her, but somehow she managed to escape.
Thank God.
She's huérfana. Her mother died when she was small, and she lost her grandparents in the Civil War. She hates war with a passion like no other.
My name is Paz, and I will do anything to protect my namesake. It is my one and only purpose. Please, get them out of my country. Make them leave Costa Rica.
Sorry, kid.
We know who you are, Big Boss. That is why we've come to you.
She's 56 years old. It's perfectly fine. No need to get crazy. She's 67 years old, for God's sake.
Miller here. Do you copy, Snake? I see you've landed. That makes one giant leap for us. I'm sending this from the offshore plant, our mother base. The signal is unidirectional. I'll be giving you commands and advice through this channel. Keep your headphones on at all times and pay attention. Also, make sure no one else can listen in. Snake, are you clear on the controls? Take a minute to refresh your memory. Use the left stick to move. Use the right stick to adjust your view.
Yeah, so now we're just getting some more tutorial stuff. We get to
To
play
change
around.
your settings, use the start button to open the menu.
Shoot at some targets.
There's no one around. Why not try some shooting practice? Select a target and squeeze off a round or two. Press the directional buttons
Miller
while
talks
holding
at
the
us
R2
incessantly.
button to switch weapons. Ready your weapon with the L1 button. Then press the R1 button to fire. Select equipment by pressing the square or circle button while holding the L2 button. To check your map, press the start button to open the menu. The M16 is a standard assault rifle, capable of rapid fire.
Anything to say about magazines? No? Nothing? Grenades?
Grenades explode. You throw them, Snake. Use the L1
Yeah.
button to ready throwing weapons. Once you've readied the weapon, throw with the R1 button. When using throwing weapons, hold the attack button down longer
The
to throw
tone
farther.
there.
You won't throw the weapon until you let go of the button.
I just equipped them. I swear I was like fumbling with them for a minute. I know how grenades work, Miller.
The Mark 22 tranquilizer gun can put enemies to sleep. The closer to the head you hit, the more effective it is. Tranquilizer rounds are hard to come by. Don't waste them. The over-the-shoulder view allows you to aim with a high degree of precision. Body part targeting correction will automatically shift your aim to hit nearby body parts. If you want to change the aim settings, take a look under Options. Hitting an enemy's vital points can bring them down with a single shot. You can also intentionally avoid lethal shots. Say if you just want to slow the target down.
Yeah, we need to use the grenade if we want to get through the gate here.
To use the stun rod, first unequip any other weapons, then ready it with the L1 button and strike with the R1 button.
If I lean up
The
against the
facility
gate.
you're headed for is past that fence. A grenade should be able to take out that gate.
Yeah. What if I go back and then go back up towards the gate? What if I pretend to be stupid here? Don't think he comments on it again.
You're gonna need a grenade to get through that gate.
Oh.
You're gonna need a grenade to get through that gate.
Okay. Damn, I was hoping for for an angrier response. One more.
You're gonna need a grenade to get through that gate.
Okay.
Good. You'll reach the objective when you clear the jungle. Head east. I gotta thank you for agreeing to this, Snake. Man, am I glad to be out of here. Finally, we can leave all that crap in San Geronimo behind. And break into the mercenary business for real. Let me guess. You're doing it for her, aren't you? For her.
For Paz, yeah.
Are they still here?
Come on, Snake. This could be good for us. They're willing to give us an offshore plant. A place we can finally put down some roots. This is our chance to expand MSF.
We don't need a place to stay, Kaz. We're nomads. We always will be.
What? You'd rather keep wandering from conflict to conflict? Tools in the hands of whoever's fighting at the time?
The second we settle down, who's to say we won't become the warmongers?
Listen to me, Snake. We're not mercenaries. We're not a foreign legion. MSF's a business. A new kind of business. Look, it's not like we're trying to start a war here. All we need to do is find out who this security company really is.
Come on, Kaz. It's pretty obvious that they're backed by the CIA.
Wait a sec. That would mean...
Our friend, the Professor, is likely KGB.
I see.
We'd be making an enemy of our homeland.
And there'd be no turning back.
Ah, this damn thing won't light.
Huh?
Put on some coffee, Kaz. It's time for a little chat with the Professor.
I was a heavy smoker. When I got my medal from the Secretary General, he gave me this prosthetic hand as well. But smoking was ruining my lungs, so I quit. I've not had much use for it since. It's quite an honor to meet the legendary Big Boss.
That's just a code name the CIA made up.
Then perhaps I should call you John.
I don't have a name. Stop using that code name you liked so much 10 years ago. What about you, comrade? What do they call you back at Center?
Well then, allow me to get straight to the point. Land as slim as a whip, hot as torture.
That's the Chilean poet, Neruda.
Central America is the navel of the American continents, bridging north and south. We want this land. We'll build a socialist stronghold, then use it to split the Americas in two.
America would lose its backyard.
And with it, its economic production, shipping lanes, and strategic value. We, on the other hand, would gain a base from which all of Latin America would be well within our reach. He who controls Central America will win this Cold War. First comes Nicaragua, toppling the pro-American Somoza regime. In preparation, we've begun instigating anti-Somoza sentiment and providing aid to the Sandinista National Liberation Front.
You're manipulating Sandinista into overthrowing Somoza for you.
After the revolution, Nicaragua will become a socialist state.
You think America's just gonna let that happen?
Certainly not. After all, the CIA is already here.
And that's the armed group inside Costa Rica.
Precisely. It's clear that they've been sent in to disrupt our efforts across the border in Nicaragua. Simply put, the army now stationed in Costa Rica is CIA capital. But it's more complex than that. The CIA's got something else planned as well.
What?
That is the million-dollar question. Big Boss, we want you and your unit to find the answer. Infiltrate and investigate the facility in La Costa, where Paz was imprisoned. Learn all you can of their operations. Then, drive them out of the country.
You're asking us to settle a turf war between the KGB and the CIA?
What about her? That was all just an act?
You mean her words about peace? She was captured, that much is true. But I've kept my KGB affiliation from her.
And you thought we'd fall for a sob story?
No. I had good reason to bring her along. She managed to escape with her life, but her friend was not so lucky. Why were they attacked? I believe this will help explain. Perhaps they saw something they weren't supposed to. Perhaps they heard something they shouldn't have.
A cassette tape?
Paz took this during her escape. She says her friend happened to record it by accident.
What is that?
A portable stereo cassette player. The first of its kind.
Ah. I heard they were working on something like that in Japan. Didn't know you guys were too.
I believe what you're about to hear will help you understand.
What is that? A Quetzal?
The Phoenix bird.
Paz's friend was researching birds. She went out into the jungle to record bird calls and stumbled upon this.
So? So what?
Now it gets interesting.
Poisonous. I need to get rid of it. I chase it back to its nest. You can't. The snake's too vicious. It's all... Many people. I chase it away. It will bite you unless you kill it. Go home.
Boss. Voice print analysis confirms that this voice is indeed that of the legendary hero and criminal, the Boss. What? The other hasn't been identified. Female in her 30s with a British accent. The song playing in the background was a hit in 1973.
What's it going to be? Loyalty to your country or loyalty to me? Your country or your mentor? Your mission or your beliefs?
I am loyal to
Boss
myself.
is alive in Costa Rica.
As I understand it, she was your commander, fought by your side. And that you killed her under orders from the CIA, thus surpassing her to become the hero known as Big Boss. Well, what'll it be? Will you take the job?
Snake, it's gotta be a trap.
So you still can't turn your back on your country? Then I suppose you won't need this.
Wait!
Snake?
I'll do it for the girl. For Paz.
Okay. For peace, then.
Snake is going full James Sunderland now. You shot her in the face. Snake, at point blank range.
CIA mercs. Snake, you've got to get past them undetected. Avoid combat whenever possible.
But there's a chance she's still out there.
This is a sneaking mission. Hide behind stuff. Take the long way around. Whatever it takes to stay out of sight. Your gun is a last resort. It could just as easily kill you as save you.
It's a good analogy. Snake always
The
reminds me of
indicator in the
James
upper
in this.
right serves as a compass and shows sound sources. Pay attention to your surroundings.
Obviously, it's not completely the same or anything, but...
The percentage in the upper right is your camo index. The lower the number, the more easily you'll be spotted. Conspicuous movements and loud noises will compromise your camo index. Your fatigues will act as camouflage.
Shut the fuck up, Miller. Jesus Christ.
Not enough room, huh? We'll keep it here at the base.
You done? Now? We good?
Keep your eye on what's left of your life gauge on the left of the screen. To the right of that, you'll see your sight gauge. Exhausting it will inhibit your actions. Your life gauge will recover with time. The sight gauge, too. You'll recover faster crouching than standing up. Lying flat works even better.
How many alerts? Like 350 something, I think. Yeah, what was DRK doing? Spamming those alerts? What was what was the purpose? I think I remember him doing something similar in Act 1 a couple of marathons ago, although I thought that was kills rather than alerts. Barrel tech?
When you clear the jungle, you'll be there. Head east.
Oh man, I'm getting pretty tired now. Hopefully DRK will be here soon enough.
Looks like you're inside the compound. Security is tight. Stay sharp.
You hear that? Gunshots!
It's still taking the tutorial area into account. I forgot that it did that.
Being shot at. Going to alert
That scared the
six.
shit out of me there.
Understood. Dispatching reinforcements. Proceed with extra caution.
That's because I shot the gate at the beach several times, wasted my trank. Where do they even come from here if we get... We good? Oh, there they are. They came from up there. Don't remember ever getting a caution here before.
Hey! Is somebody there?
No.
I know I saw something. We're under attack!
Of course.
Enemy sighted, preparing to attack!
Yeah. Well, this is the first time I've ever died in the tutorial area, so that's something.
What happened, Snake? Snake!
Okay, now I'll know. You
If
don't
you
like
score a
Tara
hit with
Strong,
a
Jimbo?
tranquilizer weapon, the drug will eventually put the enemy to sleep. So one way to get past this enemy is to shoot them from a distance, and then wait for them to drop. The indicator in the upper right serves as a compass and shows sound sources. Pay attention to your surroundings.
Shut up, Miller. Jesus. Maybe if I walk a little. I wonder, do they give you a full trank on restart? Do they let you cheese? No, they don't.
Looks like you're inside the compound. Security is tight. Stay sharp.
Notice how the credits scroll here as well? Very MGS1-esque. Getting the credits in gameplay. In an area full of cargo containers. Well, one cool thing about the credits here is that the speed at which they scroll depends on how you play. If you quickly run from one spot to the next, from one end to the other, the credits will just fly past. But if you take your time, the credits will slowly scroll. The credit speeds, the credit speed matches your gameplay speed. Slight upgrade to the MGS1 credits. There we go.
A cardboard box? What are you gonna use that for?
Miller or MGS4 Otacon? Ooh. Say they're both kind of equal. Maybe Miller?
Freeze.
Miller can be just pretty relentless.
Head for the building to the east. We need intel on that base.
Nope.
Is somebody there?
Yes, sir, we broke them. We acquired the whereabouts of Target 500.
Acknowledged. Spears are loaded. The barge has cleared Point Bravo.
Acknowledged. Out.
Freeze! The cargo. Where's it headed? What is it?
Air suit! In the mountains!
What's up there? Kaz, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. You found a radio.
It's got a circuit that reverses the audio phase.
Let's switch frequencies from time to time, just to make sure we're not detected.
I found a map of their bases. The cargo's heading from the marshes west towards Irasu.
Nice going, boss.
Kaz, this place is full of film badges. Dozens of them.
Film badges? Like the ones used to measure radiation exposure?
The radio man was wearing one. And whoever he was talking to called the cargo Spears.
Wait, that would mean...
Nukes. They're bringing nukes into Costa Rica.
Holy Mother of God.
How's that map, Snake? Think you can use it?
It tells me where their bases are, but it's just a bunch of points. No routes. I need better intel on the lay of the land.
Snake, the professor said he's got the Sandinistas on his side. Said you should get in touch with the FSL and Comandante.
Do they know they're backed by the KGB?
Nah. As far as they know, they're really fighting for the revolution. The KGB is staying behind the scenes. I'm not sure the Sandinistas are aware of what's really going on.
Still can't believe anybody would bring nukes here.
Yeah, that's a shocker. Costa Rica's party to the Tlatelolco Treaty, which declares Latin America a nuke-free zone. Based on Japan's 3 non-nuclear principles, it bans the testing, use, import, or deployment of nuclear weapons. If word of this gets out, Opinol will be forced to act. It'll cause an international uproar.
The treaty was signed to prevent another Cuban Missile Crisis. If the U.S. itself is gonna scrap it...
Latin America is too close to spawning another Cuba or two already. The entire continent would become one big powder keg.
Well, if they did bring nukes, we can't let them get away with it.
Are they planning a test? Showing off? Or is it all to keep the anti-American movement in check?
Good question. Why bring them here? I can't figure it out.
Whatever the CIA's up to in Costa Rica, the professor wants it stopped. We need to find out what that something is.
We need to get ready first, Kaz. Repairs?
Working as fast as we can, boss. This place is pretty beat. It looks like hell. But as long as you're with us, we'll make it heaven. No one can bother us here. No state telling us what to do. This is the MSF's haven, our mother base. And with this foothold, we'll back you up even better than before. We're gonna turn this pile of junk into something big.
Get introduced to our mother base. Welcome to MSF's mother base. Mother base can support your mission in many different ways, from developing new weapons to collecting intelligence. So here it is in its smallest form. Our gift from Galvez. Let's take a look at our staff. Look at our stats here, all our different soldiers, and what I like the most is that they all come with a little quote. And you can even learn little tips and tricks by reading through these, by reading what your men have to say. Little Easter eggs, little hints even about like hidden mechanics, details, hidden missions in the game. Right now, everyone is just in the waiting room. All we have is a combat unit, an R&D team. We got Miller here, our second in command. We're not mercenaries. We're not a foreign legion. MSF's a business, a new kind of business. The precursor to the MGS4 PMCs. Miller here is the business mind behind the operation, who sees this new age of PMCs coming. He's like this visionary entrepreneurial mind, Miller. He can see the future. He can see the future of MGS4. And this is where it begins. We can do better than this. When you're using a sniper rifle, slow down, take a deep breath, and concentrate. It's true, you can actually feel your hands get steadier. If only we could assign Miller to clean the toilets. Yeah, he's pretty good at a lot of things. A combat, A intel, A food, pretty good in the kitchen as well. I always go into a mission empty-handed. I can always borrow gear from my teammates. I've never been in a real fight before. It's an honor to serve under a hero like you. Gotta get your hands dirty to win a war. You know what I'm talking about, right? Alligator. I got a daughter. She's gonna be 12 next year. I have to make it out of this alive. Boss, he says there's no Santa Claus. Santa's real, isn't he? Flying enemies are... You'll get to hear Snake's opinion on Santa later on in this game. There are a few things related to Santa Claus in this game. So look forward to that if you haven't seen it. If you're new to Peace Walker. Everything about this place is hot, hot. The weather, the work, the guys that I'm surrounded by. Quitting smoking is easy. Why, I've quit 20 times myself. Oh, this guy. Oh, the coffee mug jokes. Oh, just fantastic. Yeah, absolutely hilarious. Get rid of him!
You're fired.
Don't ever come back. Listen, I never actually hated you. Sounds like you hated me. Sounds like you're scared. And you think that I know that you hate me. You think I've heard the truth. We get rid of him? I don't know about this guy. Where did this come from? I'll leave him be. Bit suspicious though. We'll just auto-assign these fools for now. Maybe I should put him on R&D. Anything else I want? Start developing stuff a bit earlier. Alligator is a bit of a beast. Ba-da-da-ba-da-ba-da. So, yeah, we can develop stuff. We have our Mark 22 rank 2 here. We'll start development on that. Start development on the smoke grenades. Mary Gear Solid. I have never played Mary Gear Solid. One of these years I'm going to play it. I'm sure I'll be playing Snatcher. Sometime for Christmas, sometime in December. That's always a December game on my channel. Oh yeah, someone was asking me if I have any plans for Halloween. Yes, Silent Hill 2, Halloween night. That's the plan. Ba-da-la-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Love the brooding menu music in Peace Walker. Like something sinister bubbling under the surface. The birth of something bad. Just beginning. One thing I really like as well is how the music changes over the course of the game. As MSF gets bigger and stronger and mightier, the music shifts to reflect that. But right now it's just small. It's just beginning. The birth of the PMC age. The modern PMC age. Ba-da-la-dum, ba-dum, ba-do. We do a side up. Snake has knocked out a radio soldier in the supply facility at Puerto del Alba. Use Fulton recovery to retrieve the radio soldier. Killing the radio soldier will result in instant mission failure. MSF soldiers only. So it's pretty cool. They tie some of the side ops into the story here. See, Snake has already done all this in our first area, in our tutorial area, our first mission. And now we're coming in playing as someone else.
The boss has infiltrated the area around the coastal supply facility and knocked out the soldier there. But we can't just leave him there to be found. I need you to get in there and capture the unconscious soldier using the Fulton recovery system. Do it quickly before he comes to.
Yeah, I think Peace Walker's soundtrack is really underrated. I really like it. Even I feel like I underrate it a lot. Like whenever I come back to it, I'm always reminded, damn man, Peace Walker's soundtrack is really effective. But like when I'm not playing the game and I'm thinking of like great MGS soundtracks, Peace Walker isn't like my go-to as like a top level soundtrack, but I think it's really great. Tell me about Fulton recovery, Kaz.
Snake, you can use the Fulton surface-to-air recovery system to send prisoners and unconscious mercenaries you encounter back to Mother Base. I know you've used the Fulton before, but just to make sure I'm not missing anything, let's review the steps.
Okay.
First, attach a balloon to the unconscious enemy or captured prisoner.
Right. I hook a wire to their waist, and on the other end of the wire, there's a helium balloon.
Right. Then we'll send over a chopper to catch the floating balloon with its recovery hook and reel it up into its cargo hold.
And that's it?
And that's it. We finished installing the recovery hook on the Huey.
Wait, Kaz. Something doesn't make sense about this whole process.
This again.
Well, normally, Fulton recovery is for when you're using fixed-wing aircraft. With a helicopter, isn't it simpler to land and pick up directly?
Listen, Snake. You're going to be calling for recoveries repeatedly throughout your mission. We want to keep the risk of taking enemy fire to a minimum. The best way to get that done is to do the recovery in a high-speed flyby. That's what the Fulton surface-to-air recovery system is for.
Uh-huh. What's the real reason?
Helicopters are cheaper, and the repair bills will start adding up once the bullets start flying.
I thought so. Kaz, I know we need to keep costs down, but...
Boss, you really need to get rid of this whole army mentality. We're not the Pentagon. We don't have billions of taxpayer dollars to play with. And besides...
Fine. Just pick a reason that makes sense.
Helicopters have quicker response time. Sounds strange, yeah, but it works great. I promise. You'll get used to it before long.
Yeah, I hope so.
The mercenary supply base is situated on elevated ground by the coast. I heard them call it Puerto del Alba. Port of Dawn. They have perfect visibility of the area from up there. We did our best to sneak in undetected, but one of the guards spotted us and we...
What is it?
I'm sorry. You'll have to ask Professor Galvez the rest.
It's okay. You've been through a lot.
I am sorry. I just cannot.
You did great, Paz. I won't let your efforts go wasted.
We have lots of other stuff to do here, but we'll do this little side op first. Cannot pick Snake. We'll send in Alligator. We don't have billions yet. By the end of the game, we have one of those big fucking aircraft
use Fulton
carriers.
Recovery to bring back knocked out soldiers. To use Fulton Recovery on a soldier, get up next to them so the icon appears, and push the action button.
By the end of the game, you're a nuclear power. You basically become your own nation.
Looks like that soldier's out cold. Okay, you're done with that area. Head for the goal.
Grab a few more of these guys,
Fulton Recovery helicopter is complete.
just for the hell of it. They're probably all garbage, but why not? I want to read.
Freeze!
I want to read what they have to say.
You won't have to worry about that one anymore. So long as none of his buddies show up anyway. Go ahead and use Fulton Recovery to bring the target in. Fulton Recovery subject confirmed onboard helicopter. Mission complete. The folks back at Mother Base will be thrilled.
Hey, we got our rank 2, Mark 22 already. Let's take a look at the new recruits, shall we? Who do we have here? Tom Kivett. Call me... forget it. Call me whatever you want. Ready when you are, boss. Snipe Eel. A lot of the most talented soldiers out there are in places where you can't recover them the usual way. I know there's got to be some way to get them, but... things are never better than when they're ordinary. Let's auto-assign. Ba-dum. Hold on, let me see here if there's any response from DRK. Hopefully he'll be here soon.
Snake, I rigged that radio so you can contact our young lady friend Paz.
Is she okay?
No need to worry. She's tougher than you think.
Still just a kid.
Which is exactly why she could be an effective source of information. Besides, that little Angel de la Paz is the one who gave us this mission, right?
I guess.
I'll put her on.
Snake,
Paz, where are you?
Ciudad Colon. A school. The teacher told me to stay here until things quiet down.
Teacher? Oh, him. He's... Yeah, that's probably good advice.
See, he has a radio in his room, so we can talk anytime.
Pretty fancy for a teacher.
Promise me, Snake, that you'll bring back peace, and
I know. I'll contact you if I find your friend.
thank you. Snake, if you need to know about Costa Rica, the geography, the climate, the wildlife, anything, just ask me. I know about its history and laws too. We learned it all in school.
Got it. I have a question. I'll ask. What?
In school, I also learned that peace is an unnatural state for human society, and that war is a constant threat to our relationships with others.
That's right.
So, to achieve peace, we have to create it ourselves. Crying about it won't bring it about or make it last. Each one of us must go and seek it out.
You won't find it without making sacrifices. No offense, but I don't know what peace is. Never felt what it's like. Never even been interested in it.
Snake?
Oh, sorry. Listen, Paz, I think your ideas are admirable. And I hope they turn out to be right.
Yeah, me too.
Peace is in your name. Who better to help bring it back?
Thanks, Snake. I will be here whenever you need me. See you later.
Snake, use your radio to call people, but stay alert. You're in the middle of a mission and can't afford to let your guard down.
Got it.
Need to know more about Costa Rica? Haas can help you out.
Good to know.
We'll follow their transport route. This should take us straight to their main base.
From what I've seen, it looks like nukes.
Agreed. The key thing now is to confirm whether those spears really are what we think they are, and if so, why they're here.
Follow the transport route. Find the nukes.
That's what I'm thinking. First, we should make contact with the Sandinista Comandante. They can tell us more about what's up ahead. But it looks like their hideout's already come under attack.
We better hope they're still alive.
Snake, infiltrate that cabin and secure the Sandinista's Comandante. Neutralize any guards by knocking them out, putting them to sleep, or even using the Fulton recovery system. You choose how to handle it, boss.
I really love when Hater goes soft with his voice, like in that conversation with Paz. I know a lot of people dislike Hater in this, just how rough and gravelly he is, but I really like parts of his performance, particularly those, you know, when he's like comforting another character, or when he kind of, you know, when he shifts that melancholic kind of tone. I feel like he really captures that aspect of Snake well in this game, like this deep underlying pain and sadness. I really like the little exchange with Paz, you know, and he talks about his opinions on peace. Never felt what it's like, huh? Thinks to himself, never even been interested in it. But it still doesn't stop him from saying to Paz, you know, I think your ideas are admirable and I hope they turn out to be right. So even though he has never had these desires for peace, never even thought about it, there is still a part of him that hopes her view of the world is correct, is right, in some sense. But yeah, I really like how Hater just plays it, you know, just that kind of softness. He's similar, and he has some similar. He hits some similar notes later with Amanda and Chico. You know, and he meets up with Chico for the first time after he's been kidnapped, and comforting Amanda after she has her big fall. I don't know. I think I like Hater in this. For the most part. There are some scenes where I think his graveliness is too overplayed, where it just sounds a bit silly. Like, you know the scene where he's banging on the AI pod at the end of the game? I still kind of like that scene overall, but man, his gravel there is almost comical. Is it intentional or because he got older? I think that was just how Hader naturally played the character after MGS4 fucked up his voice. I think he just naturally went to a more gravelly Snake. I think that's why, anyway. But yeah, like, it's different to Old Snake. You know, Old Snake doesn't have those moments of, like, where he goes real soft with it. What did MGS4 do to his voice? It fucked up his voice. Doing the old Snake voice did a number on his throat. Is the music too loud? I can turn down the music. Am I getting drowned out by the game? Fucking HD collections. I always underestimate how fucking loud it is. Jesus Christ. I guess I'm kind of tired and I'm speaking a little bit lower as well. Hold on. Oh man, it was actually up way higher than I thought it was. I think I turned it up at one point during MGS4 for like a certain scene, because again the volume range is all over the place in MGS4 as well. Oh man, yeah, I was probably getting really drowned out there. Alan Wake stream? Yeah, maybe sometime next month. Yeah, I turned it down a good bit. I like to be louder than the game. A bit louder. Let's see. Let's do some tapes with Kaz. Let's learn about Mother Base.
Kaz, what kind of shape is that plant the professor gave us in?
First time I laid eyes on it, I thought it was some kind of joke. It was a giant birdhouse. Seagulls everywhere. We eventually scraped off most of the rust and bird crap. The underlying structure's intact. Little elbow grease, and we should be in business.
Who used to own it anyway? Whatever shape it's in now, somebody sank some serious money into building it.
From what I can tell, an American university built it as a research platform for ocean thermal energy conversion. The name's still on some of the rusty old power turbines. I'm guessing they must have had government and corporate assistance to build it too. But they couldn't solve the thermal efficiency problem, and the project was canceled. Then after the university abandoned it, a KGB front company scooped it up for next to nothing. At least that's my theory.
How'd the KGB manage to buy a plant built with American capital, front company or not?
Yeah, that professor is quite the operator. One other thing. The plant's set up so that it can join up with other plants of the same standard.
So, they were originally planning on expanding the place, huh?
Hey, let's give it a shot. We can get some more people together and build this place up into a proper home for MSF. You're with me on this, right, boss? Snake, you can use the Fulton surface-to-air recovery system to send prisoners and unconscious mercenaries you encounter back to Mother Base. I know you've used the Fulton before, but just to make sure I'm not missing anything, let's review the steps.
Okay.
First, attach a balloon to the unconscious enemy or captured prisoner.
Right. I hook a wire to their waist, and on the other end of the wire, there's a helium balloon.
Right. Then we'll send over a chopper to catch the floating balloon with its recovery hook and reel it up into its cargo hold.
And that's it?
And that's it. We finished installing the recovery hook on the Huey.
Wait, Kaz. Something doesn't make sense about this whole process.
This again.
Well, normally, Fulton recovery is for when you're using fixed-wing aircraft. With a helicopter, isn't it simpler to land and pick up directly?
Listen, Snake. You're going to be calling for recoveries repeatedly throughout your mission. We want to keep the risk of taking enemy fire to a minimum. The best way to get that done is to do the recovery in a high-speed flyby. That's what the Fulton surface-to-air recovery system is for.
Uh-huh. What's the real reason?
Helicopters are cheaper, and the repair bills will start adding up once the bullets start flying.
I thought so. Kaz, I know we need to keep costs down, but...
Boss, you really need to get rid of this whole army mentality. We're not the Pentagon. We don't have billions of taxpayer dollars to play with. And besides...
Fine. Just pick a reason that makes sense.
Helicopters have quicker response time. Sounds strange, yeah, but it works great. I promise. You'll get used to it before long.
Yeah, I hope so.
Knight, thank you very much for the raid. Welcome anyone coming in from Knight's stream. How's it going? Let's see here. Just scrolling up in chat. Snake cares because the thing others care about is being taken away. And the USA took everything that mattered from him. Yeah, that's a big part of it when it comes to the characters that he's interacting with in this. They're all trying to hold on to their country, essentially, and he has lost his country. But I think it's... I don't think that's really what I was getting at with regards to Paz, though, you know, because it's like Paz and Snake are at opposite ends of the spectrum, or at least this version of Paz, this illusion of Paz. Illusion of peace. I didn't even mean to do that. I didn't even mean to do that. But, you know, Snake, the embodiment of war, Paz, the supposed embodiment of peace. But yeah, I just think it's interesting that in some small sense, Snake wishes that Paz is correct, even though he tells us that he never thought about peace. Is that true? Is that exactly true? Maybe he never consciously thought about it, gave it much thought. But he still hopes Paz is right, that her vision... Still hopes that maybe Paz's vision for the world could be true. Hold on a second here. An anonymous gifter. Thank you for gifting 5 subs to the community. Enjoy, whoever got one. Cheers. Cheers. Enjoy your free subs, fools. MSF. Talk to me, Kaz. Tell me about it.
Remember why we created MSF, Snake. To provide military force to whoever needs it, wherever they are, regardless of nation or ideology. Our beliefs aren't all that lofty.
We just won't be the tools of any one country.
Exactly. We know only how to fight. But we refuse to live our lives at the whim of the state. The MSF seal is patterned after Pangaea, the supercontinent from 250 million years ago. Back then, the whole world was one landmass, one world. No gaps, no rifts.
Our strength will take us back there.
I guess Snake is just too cynical and jaded to believe that Paz's vision could ever be real, you know? Like when he responds to her, I think your ideas are admirable, you know? Like just kind of another way of saying naive, you know. MSF's goals.
What about you, Kaz? Any interest in expanding MSF?
You'd better believe it. I want to make us into an organization that doesn't take orders from any country. Just like you were saying, we have to be strong. Strong enough to defend ourselves. We need money, too. Money to train soldiers to fight. The way I see it, we make MSF into something along the lines of a new kind of business. A contractor providing the full range of military services. Not just combat, but logistics, training, weapons, outfitting, and R&D. Combining the small footprint and exceptional performance of special forces with the raw military might of a full regular army. Only with that kind of power can we break free of nation states. What I need from you, boss, is to go out and find guys we can bring back here using Fulton Recovery. Then tell us what assignment to use them for. I'll take care of the rest. Your old mentor, the boss. She was known in the West as the mother of special forces, right?
Nothing but propaganda.
Actually, it's not all that far from the truth. I heard the KGB just set up a counter-sabotage cell. Alpha Group, I think they call it. There's even a rumor that West Germany created a counter-terrorist unit within its border police after the debacle at the Munich Olympics. Back home in the States, they've got the illustrious Green Berets, the SEALs, and your personal creation, Foxhound. The seeds sown by the boss are beginning to sprout. Same goes for MSF, right? In creating it, you were carrying on the will of the boss.
Yeah. She taught me how to fight the hard way. She beat it into me.
And now, thanks to her, we can take on missions other than just conventional combat. After all, we've got the same mother as the Army's Special Forces. Still can't believe Professor Galvez was KGB.
Well, like the professor said, Moscow's hell-bent on communizing Latin America.
Yeah, the Cuban intel services are all in the KGB's pocket. You don't think he's got some kind of ulterior motive?
If the CIA is up to something, it's only natural that the KGB wants to know about it. But I doubt they're showing us their full hand.
We'd better watch our backs.
What do you think, Kaz? Why did Paz come all the way to Colombia herself?
It's a long trip to make just to be Exhibit A in Galvez's sales pitch. She's only 16, still a kid. Maybe we should take her wish for peace at face value. Costa Rica isn't alone. All of Latin America is getting swept up in the superpowers' Cold War. The whole ideological split between East and West. In the end, it's just a greedy scramble for wealth by the ruling classes. The Western bourgeois stand to lose everything if their countries go communist. After all, the communists want to abolish private property altogether. So the capitalist rulers desperately tried to halt the global spread of communism. Hence the phenomenon of red baiting. And the communists, for their part, didn't exactly stay true to their principles. They tried to escape class-based society, but between Stalin's autocracy and the rise of the nomenklatura, they ended up creating one anyway. Once people have power, they stop caring about equality. That's where communism, where society in general reaches its limits. The rulers only care about their own gain. The opposing side becomes a risk factor that threatens the profit, and thus the ongoing struggle between capitalism and communism was born.
And now, nuclear deterrence is part of the picture.
Exactly. They say nuclear weapons are the reason we haven't seen conflict on a global scale since World War II. The thought that your opponent might launch nukes against you sort of makes it tough to start an armed conflict, especially now that they've got intercontinental ballistic missiles. Nowhere is safe.
Of course, all that has caused military expenditures to skyrocket.
Well, the only way to ward off a preemptive strike is to flaunt your own nuclear stockpile, and that's caused their numbers to increase exponentially, not just with regards to destructive power, but in terms of targeting technology too. Now they can hit a target halfway across the world with pinpoint accuracy. In a way, The space race was a demonstration of that technological progress.
And as a result of all that, we now have mutually assured destruction.
It's the ultimate form of deterrence. No one's going to launch their nukes knowing they'll be obliterated in return.
I don't know. The chance of somebody hitting the button by mistake is never zero.
Don't forget to give the MSF staff assignments. Where you place people will determine how Mother Base grows.
Right.
That goes for me too. Assign me wherever you think is best.
You? I thought you were second in command.
Don't worry, I've got that covered. But MSF is still small, and I don't have the leisure of sitting around on my butt all day.
I see your point, but...
Not to brag or anything, but I kick ass at whatever job you gave me. Put me in the area you want to focus on developing most. I'll take real good care of the staff there.
Easy, Kaz.
I'll leave this one for DRK because he might want to show the piece in Kazuhira Blues after it. We'll do the box.
Snake, about cardboard boxes. It feels kind of weird me explaining this stuff to you, but there have been a few recent developments in cardboard box technology. So just to be safe, here goes.
Go on.
You can do much more with the box than just hide under it. You can put it someplace and leave it there.
Huh?
You can get on top of it and use it to reach high places, or hide from the enemy in its shadow.
I like what I'm hearing so far.
And that's not all. You can even put items in it and send them to Co-op's teammates.
Really? I never thought of any of that. Damn. Is there anything a cardboard box can't do? Every soldier should have one.
Yeah, well, don't get too excited. This isn't exactly what they were made for.
Which reminds me, don't you think the boxes around here are a little on the big side?
You're right. I bet 2 people could fit under one box, if they packed in tight enough. They call them love boxes.
Love boxes?
Of course, you don't need a love box to fit 2 people inside. Any box of similar size will do.
Alright, how about we do a... Oh, you can do this one already as well. Okay, fuck it. Let's do this one too.
Up to 2 people can fit inside a cardboard box.
Tell me how.
Move close to a box with a teammate inside, and an icon will appear. Then press the action button. You'll stay inside as long as the action button is pressed.
So, same as snake formation, huh?
Exactly the same. In fact, when you put on a cardboard box when snake in, both of you can climb inside.
A box big enough to hold me and my buddy. These are fine times we live in, hey, Kaz?
Yeah. Sure, boss. Snake, about that cassette player Galvez was carrying.
What about it?
That was no Russian imitation. It was the real deal. A prototype developed by a Japanese company.
Get out of here.
It's true. It had the Sony logo on it. The product name is Walkman.
Walkman.
It's a revolutionary new concept. Music you can listen to on the go. You can take it with you when you leave the house. I gave it a listen, and you wouldn't believe how good the sound quality is for something so tiny. And in stereo, too. Think of the technology that must have gone into it. And that tape is equally amazing. The treble range is clearly superior to any other cassette ever made. Stylish, too.
How'd Galvez get his hands on a model that's not even out yet?
Beats me. It's not the kind of thing I'd expect some stodgy Soviet to be into.
Me neither. Tell you what, though, it's a fine piece of work. It'll let me listen to my music when I want, where I want.
I never thought I'd hear you say that, but I have to agree. Me? I'm a recording freak, and I always used to laugh at the idea of a portable player. But now that I've seen it in action, I've changed my mind. Being able to take your music with you, this could be the start of a revolution in music.
Could be.
I'm having the guys at Mother Base study and analyze it. Who knows? They might be able to come up with something even better.
Walk, man. I always love the way he says that, like a caveman. Going back to his MGS3 roots there. Let's Let's go back and save. And then I'll hand it over to DRK. He'll take over. I'm getting tired. Let's see. Guys, I'm just going to play some music for a couple of minutes. And I'll get this save sent over to DRK, and he'll be picking up right where I'm leaving off. So yeah, just bear with me for a few minutes while I send this save over. All right, guys. DRK is ready. He has the save. Everything is looking good. So it's time to switch. Let me just check my dashboard one more time to make sure I don't have anyone else to thank, that I didn't miss anyone at the last minute. I don't think I did. Okay. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Don't go anywhere. The stream is going to go down for like 10 seconds, but DRK will be back up with more Peace Walker. And I'll see you guys later on. Till next time, everyone. Take it easy. Don't go anywhere. The stream will be right back.